Hello, bastards. Hey, everybody. My name is Dirk. It is Dirk Weekdays, and it is Thursday, the 23rd of May. How are you all today? Dirty little secrets, what they don't want you to know, they're coming. Yesterday, we talked about clickbait and all the fun stuff that comes along with it, and how channels get into the algorithm of the YouTube gods and all that stuff. And I was whining and complaining that my channel's so nice and everybody's so kind to everybody and we all give each other stuff and we're so nice. And then I looked at all these, the clothespin lady and then the cheating housewives. And then I saw something. And thank you all so much for your emails and your hilarious comments about what I should, because I said I was going to do a clickbait title as a joke, but as it turns out, it's not exactly a joke, because we could talk about that today. Like, are most channels clickbait? And I was looking through my feed and my suggestions, and almost all of them were. The one thing John Lennon didn't want you to know. That's an actual channel. And you go on there, and there's nothing about something John Lennon didn't want you to know. Anyway, I digress. But I want to thank everybody for all the suggestions they gave me. They were all really funny. At the end, I thought, what better than a play on cats, letting the cat out of the bag? I should have put that in there. You guys said that after I posted the picture, but I wanted to thank Angelo Minichello for just happening to send me a picture of those toughies, those street thugs. I was calling them like Muggsy and Al, Ratso, and Brutus, because they look like they're coming for you, these cats. Because that's about as scandalous as we're going to get on my show. God damn it, because I'm tired of that crap. I'm tired of all the insurrection bullshit, and I'm tired of all the one-sided fights and all that stuff, because unity brings us together, and we're all pretty much, even if, like I'm wearing the Tobster watch today. I haven't worn it in about a week. Him and I disagree with a lot of stuff, but we agree on a lot of stuff, because we're all individuals and we all have different sides to our stories, and we can come together. And that's the problem. I guess it's just that, conflict breeds financial gains for the most part. I saw something really horrible on TV last night, and I forget exactly what it was I was watching, but they were talking about, America's role in playing peacekeeper really just means America's role sending munitions. And that left a very bad taste in my mouth. Being American makes you feel terrible. That you want to think that America's and I'm getting political, and I don't do that on this show, but it's personal. I just think it's terrible when you feel like you're a part of a big machine that's really just looking to sell somebody some kind of weapon, which is terrible. And we don't like that. Anyway, I much prefer all the people on this channel, their watches, their cats, their kids, their bikes, their cars, the things that make them happy. What makes you happy is what makes me happy on this show. You guys have treated me with the Bashtards Gallery on so many different levels, getting to see so many beautiful things, because we all came together as watch people, but we all found out that we have other things in common. And it seems like the common denominator, after going on Tuesday, when I was going off on Speedies and talking about Lemania movements and Eddas and Dupois Dupois, or Dupois Duprat. I always reverse that. I have like a seemed like everybody's like, where's the cats? Anyway, let's see who's in the room. Number one today was Easy, who says he's going to miss the show. We love you, man. And then I'm going to talk about the walkabout and something I discovered last night, which is going to be a slight postponement, because Sunday is Memorial Day. And in New York City, that means bank holiday on Monday, which Memorial Day is Monday, but that means the city is overflowing with tourists. That and Labor Day and the 4th of July are the biggest tourist attraction holidays in New York City. And I went and I looked at the Statue of Liberty and the Ellis Island boats, and they're all like pretty much sold out, and it's going to be mobbed with people. I should probably choose like a Tuesday. Maybe the following Tuesday would be a good day to do it. But yeah, bad timing. I didn't even think about it because I've had my head up my own arse, as I love to say. So it turns out that this Sunday is a no-go, because the city's just going to be impossible. No one should go near Manhattan on Memorial Day. Everybody's here. Everybody's going to go see Lady Liberty. Everybody's going to go to Ellis Island. They're all going to go to the the Empire State Building and One Vanderbilt and all the RCA building and all that stuff. Now I don't even know what that's called anymore. Is it the GE building? Also, I watched the TVG show today where he went to the Bulova Museum. And why can't he say Bulova? Bulova, Bulova, Bulova. It's not Bulova. And then he had a bunch of guys on the show and they were talking about Bulova. And I'm like, it's Bulova. And he's in the Bulova Museum. And the guy's saying, well, the history of Bulova. And then he goes, well, I have a couple of Bulovas. I'm like, I learned how to say, and that's wrong. I mean, I don't know why. That little things like that drive me bananas. Like when Asheen or Paul, correct my Italian pronunciation, it's because I'm learning a new language and it's helpful. It's constructive criticism is fantastic for when you're trying to learn something new and trying to get a grip on a new tongue and how those letters together are pronounced, if they're preceded by a vowel or there's so many rules in Italian. I'm like, I don't understand why this is this and why this is this. Il suo, la sua. Why? And he's like, it's got to match the noun. The gender languages, they can be infuriating, but anyway, it's Bulova. So anyway, he went. It was a great video. I know a lot of people talk a lot of smack about that guy, and I used to watch his show. I kind of fell off the thing. I don't know why about him, but it was a great show. And he went to the observation deck and he did all the stuff that I said I was going to do, but he did it already. So I'll have to come up with a new combination. But the other deal was that the Bulova Museum is not open to the public. It is by appointment only. And from what I read, a lot of people get turned down. So I'll have to go there and say, well, I have my own show. And I used to, do some stuff with, my buddy boy. It has a huge watch channel. But then again, they probably might check it and see if he's ever done any Bulova stuff. I don't currently have a Bulova. And then I was like, wait a minute. I want to go there and I want to make an appointment and I want to get in. And I said, what I'm going to do over the next week is do a super deep dive on Bulova. And it's from Queens, New York, where I am from. It is my hometown watch brand. So I should own one. One, I should own one. Two, I should know a whole hell of a lot more about them than I do. I know about, the Accutrons and all the, the astronaut, which I always loved that watch. One, I should get one, and two, I should just learn everything about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And all of that because Easy said, "Putties." Andrew Rokovich is here. Where is your super chat from last night? Andrew could not find the show yesterday, and I don't know why that was. He could not find the show, and he missed it. He thought I didn't do one, we did a show without Andrew Wolkowicz, which is crazy to me, and I'm horrified. So I said, what I'll do is I'll set up the show for tomorrow last night, which I did. And he was able to, he sent a super chat and blah, blah, blah. And it was all good and fantastic. And I don't see it here and it's not there. That is very, very, very weird. I don't know if it's on the, let me go to YouTube. Let's see if Andrew, if you're there, give me a shout out and say that you're here. Let me see. Nope, it's not there, and it was there before. That's very strange. Let me ask you guys a question, because I don't do this very often, but when you are on YouTube, if you do a chat before the show, does it disappear when the show goes live? Does it? I don't know. If anybody can let me know. Andrew, we love you, and sorry about that. And I don't know where you were definitely first, because you were the first guy in the gate last night, and I don't see it. I don't know why that is. Dave, Fahrenheit 451, upvoted the king of all numbers, number nine. You know what John Lennon had to say and that he didn't want you to know? Absolutely nothing, because he was a big mouth, and he always said what he wanted to say, and he always put his foot in his mouth, too. They're bigger than Jesus, blah, 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 blah. Dean says, oh, wait a second. These were before the show started. Dirk must be letting the cat out of the bag. These were all last night. Easy with $5. We'll miss the show as I have to work. Here's my penance. Aw, thank you, buddy boy. Let's give you a gong. We miss you tremendously, Easy. When you're part of the show, it's a lot of fun. You also say, geez, I feel a bit catatonic today. Yeah, I just thought cat scandals were more fun because it makes sense for us. Upvoted number 10, Kaloy. Great to see you. And that's a crazy dial day date. Wow. Melly C. Good day, Dirk and all the bashers. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Hey, it's Watch. It's Brian. Handsome guy, handsome watches. Upvote Bastards. Bert Dundee is here as well. Hello, my fellow bastards. Hello to you, kind sir. Carlos Pagi, Basharistas. Hope you're all doing great. We are because you're here. Hey, Ginge. Hola, Bastardos. Good to see you. Or is it Ginge? It's like, do you remember that the 40-year-old virgin? He goes out on the dates and he goes, it's nice to meet you, Gina. She goes, it's Gina. I always thought that was a pretty funny joke. Vasilios P is here. Good evening to all. Lunar Pilot. Very, very, very nice. And my sister Carrie Kennedy is in the house. Hey, Carrie. That's how we learned French. We listened all day, every day to the François. And they correct us all the time, which I so appreciate. And I do. And like people think that it sounds a certain way when they correct you. But when somebody knows another language and they speak it fluently or close to fluently, I mean, at this point in time, Oshin is now speaking Venetian, Veneto, which is like because they speak Italian, of course, in Venice, but at this point in the game, they have a very severe dialect, which he's now extremely fluent in. And whenever I hear him speaking Italian, I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that in a while because usually it's that very strange Veneto, which is a very cool accent, but people who are not from the Veneto don't really know exactly what that is, Ray says, thank you, Dirk, for Bulova Focus. Listen, I know you were a very big part of that, my dearest Ray. I love them. Own 3, soon to be 4. You must try their Lunar Pilot. Yeah, Vasilio says the same thing. Maybe that'll be the one I get. Yeah, I gotta do a deep dive. When I'm interested in something and I want to know about it, I generally kind of just wring the towel dry because I'm a good reader. I love technical stuff and I like to be knowledgeable and I love to share the knowledge too. I do not have a very good Bulova focus. I know, when they started, where they started, who started it. I know about certain various benchmark milestone models that they've had, but their history is so much more than that. Like the TVG episode. Is it TVG? TVG, the Urban Gentry. How do you say it? Oh, he's TVJ and it's the Urban Gentry. I did not know that Bulova worked with Grumman, which is an extremely famous aerospace corporation that was on Long Island, and I knew it very well because my godfather worked for them. My uncle Bobby Reiser. My cousin Ryan's been on the show, and he said hello, and his dad worked there for his entire career. Grumman was a very big part of NASA and the space program, military ops of the lots of different aircraft. I think Grumman was super. I think that they built the F-14. I think that's entirely theirs. I could be wrong about that, or it was a collaboration between the two. I learned so much from this one episode where I decided, okay, I'm going to put down the audiobooks for the next couple of nights and I'm going to start learning about Bulova because it's a fantastic and very, very interesting company and it's American. We all know, what's the big ones? Hamilton, Bulova, obviously, Gruen. Who was the other really big one? Benrus was really big. There are so many American brands, and turns out, and I didn't realize this either, that the Accutron was the first major innovation in watches pre-quartz in 300 years. It was just all the spokes and all the wheels and all the levers and all the stuff and all the bits and bobs that we all know from mechanical movements. They were all just, addendums or whatever, refinements. It wasn't until the Accutron in 1960 before a true innovation. And of course, in mechanical watches, the next true innovation was probably George Daniels with the coaxial escapement, because that kind of revolutionized timekeeping too. Everybody else has their own different versions of them at this point. And I'm not exactly sure what who's allowed to use it, or if Omega has the patent on that. It could be true. I have no idea. But Rolex certainly has their, what is the name of their new movement? Forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head. They have a fancy new escapement. I'm sure you guys are all super smart and you'll figure it out in 2 seconds flat. But wow, Carlos Paggi says the 666 oceanographer. Yeah, but and he mentioned that too, because they had to change the name of that watch because nobody wanted 666 printed on the dial of their watch, because of course that's the mark of Satan. Not metal people. We love 666. When I was, back in the day when I was a fledgling metal singer and I was so involved in the heavy metal world, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in America especially, we had this thing called the Parents Music Resource Center, and they went to Congress and they tried to get metal banned, and then they tried to get the lyrics banned because of all the fantasy imagery, because they were so stupid that they thought that people who listened to heavy metal were practicing Satanism, which couldn't be further from the truth. I've known a couple of Satanists in my life, and none of them liked heavy metal. They liked Sandy Denny, and they liked that Lorraine, what's her name? They like all that weird, folky, woodsy music. I didn't know any heavy metal people. They just loved the pentagram and the 666 and the skulls and all the cool fantasy. It's more like being a Batman fan or being, a fan of Frankenstein. It's horror. I didn't especially go for any of that stuff. It was just, part and parcel with the kind of music that I listened to. I mostly ignored it because I thought it was stupid and silly. When a pussy band like Motley Crue comes out and they're a glam band, all of a sudden they're wearing black leather and they have pentagrams and they have a song called Shout at the Devil, but it was super lame and flimsy and crappy. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Motley Crue fan. I get it, though. I get it. If you're a fan of Motley Crue, it's fine. That's what makes the world go around. Wear the watches you want, listen to the music you want. It's all about choice, and it's all about us being different. That's the best part, because if we all like the same shit, we'd have nothing to talk about, because you'd be like, Rolex, 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 or Bulova, if you're Ray Ray. But Ray Ray's got a bunch of Bulovas, and I think that's really cool. I do want to ask Ray, because you're in the room, where did you acquire most of your Bulovas, and did you get them in Ireland? Because it turns out that they're owned by Citizen Corporation now, which obviously took all the technology from the Accutron, because they make the most precise mechanical watch in the world, and they own Bulova. So it's now owned by a Japanese conglomerate. But their headquarters is still in New York City, which I think is fantastic. It's rare but true that a company that old, unless you're from Switzerland, can stay in one specific place. Hardcore Shutterbug, what about the Black Speak of Mordor? Now, if you guys know me well, and most of you do, this is Steve Messina. He's a photographer. He's a punk singer. He is a lot of things. He's a fantastic photographer, and he shoots everybody and their mother. And he loves a lot of this genres of movies. Like, he's a Godzilla guy. I've only ever seen the first Godzilla, and I have no idea what the Black Speak of Mordor is. What the hell is that? I have no idea there, kiddo. But you crack me up. Kevin Hawthorne is in the room. Good evening. Usually you say from Lakeland, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hawthorne, a guy who gives out his service every day, reports not to work. He goes and he gives out directions to people because of his encyclopedic knowledge of how to get in and about and around Lakeland, Florida. And he lets these people know, and he contributes this information daily for free, because he's a beautiful person, and we thank you for that so much. Vasilios also says the A6 Intruder. I'm going to go pull up Bulova and have a good looky-loo. My sister Carrie says, well, first Ray says Timex, then my sister says Timex, and I've got, of course, Melly C's Timex that she gifted me, and I was wearing this all day, but I decided to give the Tobster edition a little bit of a thing. How about that? I will take that off because it's leather and it's very hot. And I will put on, it's very hot in New York City today. We had thunderstorms early this morning, and I'm putting it on my right hand. And as you guys know, I'm left-handed. So it is a difficult proposition for me to get watch bands on my left hand, classic watch bands on my left hand, because I just don't have the dexterity with my right hand to put a watch band on. So there it is. Speaking of Timex from Melly C, and I wear this a lot. It's a great summer watch. It's going to be my go-to summer watch. It's Indiglo. I got to get a switch that turns my lights off completely so I can start doing loom shots, and I can do that easily because I now have these big studio lights. I don't have any, and actually I do have ambient light on. Let me get rid of that right now. Yeah, that's terrible. So I think it'd be fun. I'll be able to turn them off. I think it would probably be a really good idea to pull up some Bulovas. Let's go to their website. These are very affordable watches and they have a great history. So why the hell not? We'll go to their official site and I'll look at what you guys are saying. Franco Fiore, grazie mille. He upvoted. Thank you. Ciao. Carlos, you said the oceanographer. Vaughn's here. Tipper Gore, the music Karen. Yeah. Tipper Gore was Al Gore's wife. She's still with us, right? She was like, these boys are all worshiping Satan. They're all worshiping Satan. We have to get rid of the Twisted Sister, Kiss. We have to get rid of the Black Sabbath, the Iron Maiden, the Judas Priest. People are committing suicide over their songs. They went to court, the Supreme Court, to argue a case that they had a song, and I forget what song it was. I want to say it was Dreamer Deceiver. It's not a popular, it's not like Living After Midnight or Breaking the Law, one of their famous songs. I think it was Dreamer Deceiver. And they had to go and prove that they didn't have, there was a big thing in the 80s about backwards masking, you know, like, and back would be like, take the gun, put it to your head and pull the trigger, loser, you know. They were claiming nobody did that. No one. Maybe Marilyn Manson did it, or King Diamond, or who was the really sick guy? Gigi Allen, one of these freakazoids. You like that name drop there? Hardcore Shutterbug. Maybe it was one of those guys, but none of these bands did it. Iron Maiden had this thing called Steven, and it was somebody, it's Steve, the band's bass player and leader, talking to the drummer, and then Nico, the drummer, saying something back to him. And it was just something about starting a song. But they were claiming that all of these rock and metal artists were corrupting the youth of America. It was America because Europe didn't pay attention because, of course, we're like, you stupid people. The Americans were afraid that the young youth of America were destroying society by secretly praying to Satan. Active devil worship. Crazy. Bert Dundee. Dirk, what song of your band should I look up on YouTube? I don't know. I don't know. How about the last record? The album's called Destroy All Humans, which is a great title. I didn't come up with it. When I first heard it, I said, we can't call an album Destroy All Humans. Jimmy, my guitar player, came up with that. I was writing The Ledge and these other songs, and he had the song called Destroy All Humans, which is a great song. And which I didn't write, so I can say it's a great song. So I can't say it's my song. Isn't it great? You ever see somebody do that? TVG said that when he was talking about his NATO straps. He was like, oh, and this is the NATO traps I designed. Aren't they divine? Aren't they just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful? I mean, absolute genius. Brilliant. He was talking about his own product. Man, humility goes a long way with me. When people start blowing smoke up their own arse, that's crazy. So I don't know. I would say, I don't know. I wouldn't know where to send you, but maybe a song that we did on our last record, which was very popular, was called The Ledge by Hitman with 2 T's. Have a looky poo at that. So let's go over to the Bulova world and see what's going on. Because you know what? I want to learn something today. And let's see. Does anybody have any scandals before I go crazy? So it's dirty little secret. So I will give you a dirty little secret today. So it's not completely clickbait. I will give you a dirty little secret. What they don't want you to know. I will tell you something that you don't want to know, and they're coming. Well, who's coming? The kiddies are coming, baby, and they're coming to get you. Absolutely right. So thanks, Bert Dundee. Thanks for asking. John Goodfun says Marilyn Manson had his ribs removed so he could give himself. Okay. I hope that's not true because that's nasty if it is. Really nasty. Let's shop men's. No offense to the ladies, but let's see. Okay. Boring. Boring. These are boring. This looks crazy nice. $476. Skeletonized. This is called the Sutton. Wow. This is very complicated. This is a very, very, very funny looking finishing on the movement. I love the Accutron logo though. I've always loved that. Okay. And what is this? Sophisticated design with full exhibition case back dial. Is there other pictures? Can we look at the exhibition back? Okay. Hey, that's a nice looking. Is there more? Can we see the entire? That's the box. That's the watch. Very attractive. It's very attractive, he says. These are nice. This guy's very well appointed. Great color. Back color blue. That guy's skin tone. Wow, amazing. Watch fashion, please. That's what we're talking about. And now this is interesting. What is going on here? From the Sutton collection, the new Bulova timepiece delivers sophisticated style with a mechanical heart. I'm not a big fan of mechanical hearts, and you guys know that I don't like tourbillons. And by the way, that very nice guy from Long Island Watches, he's another one that says things weird. He says tourbillon. He goes, well, I saw a couple of watches that had the tourbillon on them. I'm not being a dick, but it's a tourbillon. And he said one, and he also said Bulova, and he's from New York. Come on, boys, get your act together. These are very pretty. I would love this watch without that mechanical heart. I think that looks gross. What do you think? I think it's really horrible. Do I want 10% off? No, I don't. That's very attractive. Can we look at that? Wow. What do you guys think of this? Let me see if I can make this even bigger. Can I? I can't. Look at that. That's the Sutton. I don't know about the dial. It looks kind of furry, right? Doesn't it look kind of furry? Let me get rid of this. I hate when they do that. Okay. That's a very attractive. The date is very lange, isn't it? Lange Ezun. Looks very much to me like was it the Lange one? The Lange one. That's a very attractive watch. $440. Seems that's the sweet spot for Bulova. Do they have like a historical thing on here? Oh, look at this. This is cool. Pocket watches, which they were very famous for. Okay, and then there's these. That's it? That can't be right. Let's see. Men's watches. Shop. Oh, the archive series. That's what we want to look at, right? The Lunar Pilot. There you go. Yeah, this is very cool. Thanks for pointing that out, kiddies. You already know because you can see from this page. Can you see from this page where my brain is going? You can tell. I like that. So so I found out in the TVG video that that Bulova was extremely involved in all of the navigational and timing sequencing and mechanics for the LEM for the space missions. Now, I always thought it was Northrop, obviously Grumman. So they worked hand in hand with Grumman to help bring those things to fruition. It's incredible to me. And I did not know that because, when I think of NASA, I think Omega because I'm an Omega junkie. And I think about the Moonwatch and all that stuff. So this was space history in 1971 during the Apollo 15 missions when a moon pilot chronograph was worn on the moon. That's very cool. And then here's the other very, very cool ones. The Computron, obviously, this is a battery operated. It's very cool looking, though. I mean, that looks very Buck Rogers. If somebody was doing like a modern day Logan's Run or a modern day, version of what watches would look like in the future, but with a retro twist, it would be those. And that's cool. The mill ships, based on the prototype designed by the U.S. Navy in the 50s, the mill ships W2181 submersible timepiece is finally available. This is absolutely gorgeous. Holy smokes, this is a great looking watch. I mean, it kind of has that look where it's like almost like a Bakelite bezel. Can I get this one up without all the cuckoo? Well, hello. It's $2,000, which is not a lot compared to the big boys, but compared to most Bulovas, this is quite the high ticket. And it doesn't have the tuning fork on it, which is fine. This is brand new to the archive series. Only 1,000. So it's limited edition. And that's kind of interesting. I like the look of it, man. I got to say, it's a pretty watch. The parking meter. This was shown on TVG's show. This is very cool. Look at that. Time expired. Very, very cool looking watch. Great looking dial. Does look exactly like a parking meter. We don't have them in New York City anymore. Sadly, they're gone. They were a fixture for the better part of, almost a century, maybe more. And now we have just these big computers on the corners where you have to go get a ticket and stick it in your window, which is so not fun. But I love blue and orange because I live in New York. That's our official state colors. I love the New York Mets, and those are our colors again. And the borough of Queens is also blue and orange. And I love that combination. Blue and orange is my favorite. Orange and blue are my two favorite colors. I love what they look like together. And here's the parking meter chronograph. Very, very cool. Very cool case design. Very unique. The sensational chronograph comeback. Yeah. Very cool. It's a totally different take on things. Can you show how much does this thing cost? I'm gonna say $2,500. $595. Oh wow. And that strap looks very high quality. Does it have a very nice clasp? No deployant. Okay. Well, for $595, I guess. What am I asking for, right? Girls and boys. Well, here's the oceanographer, but they don't have the one with this. Oh, they do. They brought it back. Oh, that's amazing that they did that. Let's go with the gold one because 1,116 US dollars. It is rose gold stainless steel. So it's obviously anodized steel in a rose gold, which is cool for not a precious metal watch. It has the 666 back on it, the automatic snorkel, which means I guess people don't think about Satan anymore. Plus the letters, the number 666 look really cool together, especially if you love Satan. The Gallery of Bastards. And then they have their Pepsi version. I'd love to know what year this came out because it's a very attractive watch. We all know the blue and red is very reminiscent of the classic GMT Master. Lots of different brands have copied it because I guess you can't put a patent or a copyright on that design, but this might very well have come out first. If anybody knows, let me know because I don't know. I don't know a whole hell of a lot. What makes a mechanical watch special? Okay. Not the best looking, decorated, very cheap looking rotor. Doesn't look so great. It's got 21 joules. Yeah, I need to know about beat rate and all that stuff. I want to know all of that stuff. 21 millimeter case, double curved sapphire box crystal. Okay. Interesting. Luminous. I don't know. It doesn't say what kind of luminous material they use. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. The oceanographer GMT. Carolyn Martin, the girl with the wrenches here. I called you, honey pie. I was worried about you. I didn't know where you were at. Are you well? Scotty H, Lord H. He says that parking meters were invented in Oklahoma City. That is not something I knew about. You would think New York would have been the place because New York wants to steal all your money. Scotty H, Lord H, being the incredible knowledge base that he is, and one of the favorites on this channel. Thank you so much for that. I have no idea. I had no idea, but fascinating. Carolyn Markham wants to know who is into pocket watches. Surprise, Kelly Clarkson. Is she? What is she? What brand is she? I mean, she's Kelly Clarkson, so she's made out of cash. She can get some crazy old ones. But am I wrong to think that, before there were watches, wrist watches, I would imagine everybody was making a pocket watch. I know Omega's got great ones. Rolex had them. But what was the big one? Was it Hamilton or was it Waltham? I know Waltham had a giant industry for pocket watches in America. And that's before the whole, even though the Swiss watchmakers were making watches, America had a really big stake in the watch game, especially for timing railroads and pocket watches and all that kind of stuff. Oh, Scotty H says, I'm from Oklahoma. You know who else is from Oklahoma? Garth Brooks, Sam Harris. Do you know who Sam Harris is? Who are the 5 most famous people from Oklahoma, Scotty H? I want to know the 5 most famous people from Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure that Garth Brooks is And are you called Okies anymore, or is that considered uh, like some kind of bad slang? I don't even know. I know it used to be a term of endearment, but now it might mean something else because all things do. Uh, Now all of a sudden the word queer is fine. Like, oh, she's queer, he's queer. Oh, I'm queer. I mean, when I was a kid, that was not very cool and it was not very nice. And if somebody said that to you, you'd be super offended. Crazy. Uh, Andrew's here. Just got to work and we'll watch the recording tonight. Upvote and everybody subscribe. Andrew, I was talking about you earlier. If you're tuning in, like all that stuff you put in there last night, nowhere to be found. I don't know what's going on. Will Rogers. Last time I was in a movie theater, which was probably about 10 or 10, whenever Avatar came out. That's the last movie I saw in the theater. You would have to, they would pass around a hat and you would give to Will Rogers because Will Rogers is one of the most charitable organizations in the world. Very, very special guy. And it was mostly for children, I do believe. So thank you for that, Scotty H. Ball made awesome. Has Ball been around that long? Because when I think of Ball, I think of those mason jars. Those mason jars that you can strawberries or whatever. You make jellies and jams and you put them in a Ball jar. I didn't know that. I know the company Ball, but I didn't know that they were around that long. I always thought they were kind of new. Andy Dufresne, he's from Vienna. Greetings, lads. A shitty day with the lawyers. Oof, I know what that feels like. I was on the phone with one for 2.5 hours today, and he's great, and I love him. Hope everyone is well. We hope you're well, too, and I love your little Don Draper silhouette. Watch It's Brian says, oh, are you also from Oklahoma? Watch It's Brian. Garth, Reba, Toby Keith, and Christian Chenoweth are all from Oklahoma. Isn't that fantastic? Scotty H. also says Leon Russell. Wow. Giant. And do you know that Leon Russell is Elton John's favorite artist and his main influence throughout his entire career? So much so that at some point in the game, Leon Russell was down on his luck and Elton wouldn't hear of it. And he got him a new record deal with a really big advance. And he also got him a piano endorsement. Sadly, it was with Yamaha, which are, I have a little bone to pick with Mr. How let's just put it into watch context so everybody would understand. Carolyn Martin says ball watches are the best. I never heard you say that. Who are you? The girl with the wrench, Carolyn Martin. I have no idea what you're saying there. Ball watches are the greatest. Never heard it. Brad Pitt, Church Norris. No idea who that is. James Garner. That I knew. Cheating with James Garner. One of my favorite people in the history of the world. I love that guy. Total's man's man. Wouldn't you love to see James Garner? I'm going to Google him later. You know why? Because he was a big manly man who probably had a great wristwatch on, but he came from an era where it was probably too small for his big, hairy knuckles. Probably wouldn't work out. Back to the Leon Russell thing. Elton John, I'm going to put it into perspective. Say you're the biggest star in the world. Say you're Taylor Swift, right? And she's the biggest star, arguably, in the world. And you have a Rolex endorsement. Let's just say that. You have a Rolex endorsement and you used to love this girl named Kitty Pie Brown. Now, when you were coming up and playing the Bluebird and you were doing all these country gigs, Kitty Pie Brown was this amazing singer-songwriter who influenced you. She was older than you. You thought she was great and all that stuff. Well, that's great. So fast forward a couple of years and Taylor Swift no longer has a Rolex endorsement. Now she's got I'm going to try to think of the equivalent to make the analogy correct. And that would be if she was with Rolex before, now she's with MVMT or Vincero, one of those off the assembly line crap watches. So she goes down to the Bluebird and she sees Kitty Pie Brown. She goes, I'm going to get you a new record deal and I'm going to hook you up with MVMT watches or Vincero watches because you need a watch deal. Because Elton was the only pop artist ever signed by Steinway and Sons. And at some point in his career, he got a big fat check from Yamaha and they gave him an endorsement. So he got he got Leon Russell a Yamaha endorsement, and that drove me crazy because Leon Russell is a fabulous. Listen, yeah, some Yamaha pianos are fine. They're not garbage. They're just, most of them are just are, but some of them, the higher the CF lines are better. But you can't compare Steinway to a Yamaha, and you certainly can't compare a Vincero or MVMT to a Rolex. You just can't do it. Terrible stuff. And I digress, because that's just a bone in my bonnet, because I'm a big Steinway aficionado. Anyway, I didn't know that about that. You guys are from Oklahoma. Do you guys know who Sam Harris is? He is one of my biggest vocal influences. And now I look back and I go, he's a little whiny and annoying. But he was on Star Search. He was the guy when somewhere over the rainbow. He's very squeaky, but he had a crazy 4.5 octave range. But when I was 14 and watching that, I was like, how is that even possible that a man can do that? I want to do it too. And it's like, he does a lot of those things. And he wore like a tuxedo, like tie and tails with sneakers. That was his look, and it was really stupid and whatever. Silly. Ron Howard, Justin Good Fun. That's a great name, Justin Good Fun. Yamaha is also a fraction of the price. It sure the fuck is. But they make very expensive pianos too. They certainly do. They make the CF line, and they, unfortunately, when you go to see Elton John play live, and I think he's retired at this point, he's not going to tour, but he will do select gigs sometime in the future, because he can still sing and play and all that stuff. It's not like, he's not like Paul Stanley, who can't sing anymore. He plays a Yamaha piano that is a sampled piano. So basically, even Billy Joel, who's a Steinway artist, he uses this piano that's got triggers on it, because people are lazy now. And when you go to see somebody, if you go to see Tori Amos or somebody like that, she's playing a Bösendorfer, and that's a real Bösendorfer. It is not sampled. It's a mic'd piano, and it's actual sound, and you can really listen to the piano. But if you go to see Billy or you go to see Elton, they're using what's known as a sampling grand. So it's a piano, an empty piano, has no harp in it, no strings, none of that stuff. It's got a keyboard bed in it that you plug into the PA system, and it's got sampled sounds of other pianos. So it's like, that's why if you go and watch any modern Elton John, it sounds like ping, 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 ping. Like it's like, here, it sounds like this. Like, it's very ting, ting, tingy, because it's fake. It doesn't sound good. There are good samples, but he apparently doesn't like those. Scotty H says, you should watch Leon's Rock and Roll Hall. Oh, boy, have I ever. I love Leon Russell. I mean, what's that big, most famous song he has? I've been so many places in my life and time. Well, people have oversung that song now, because he's like, I sang a lot of songs and I made some bad rhymes. Now people are like, yeah, I acted up my life at stages. Now people are oversinging the living fuck out of that song. People get R&B singers get a hold of a great melody, like somewhere. They ruin a song, which is terrible. Watch It's Brian. Touring pianos means create, open, tune, play, then repeat for each show. Very true. However, when you're an artist like for Steinway or Bösendorfer, like Tori Amos is, she tours. They send out a person. She'll either go out with the same piano, or they will send her a model that she uses from one of their many libraries that they have and other things. So it's true. The reason why they do this now is because now they just take the fake piano out of a crate, they open it up, and they plug it in. There's no tuning at all. It's just it's all sampled, so it's good to go, and no problems whatsoever. And that's kind of a drag, because when you go to a live show now, then I won't belabor this point, very, very little of what you hear through your ears is actually coming out of somebody's mouth or guitars. The drums are either in the toaster oven, or there's no, the keyboards are usually sampled. Background vocals are almost universally on tape now. I like to say on tape because I'm an old man, but they're in a sequence on a computer somewhere, and it's very little. And that might be fine for you. And like I said, if you enjoy going and paying astronomical amounts of money. Here's a very good digression. Live Nation today, and you probably don't have it in Europe, but in America, there's this big monopoly called Live Nation, and they own a company called Ticketmaster, which is in charge of every single ticket you can possibly buy for any show. They have the monopoly, and it shouldn't be. They were served papers today about trying to break up their monopoly because Taylor Swift's Eras tour, which was a very in demand concert, the prices were so astronomical, it was horrific. RP90 says Steinway and Sons on 6th Avenue, beautiful works of art. Now I will tell you, RP 1960. Do you remember their place on 57th Street? They had a showroom on 57th Street, which is in this Gothic building. The building still remains. They owned it and they sold it, and they moved to 6th Avenue to a very modern showroom. It's all glass and stuff, and that's fine. But this beautiful place that they had was a museum. It was several floors. It's conservatories. They had all these sound rooms. They had the loaner library in the basement, and it was directly across the street from Carnegie Hall. So it was really great for all the artists, because most of them, not all, but most do play Steinway and Sons, because Steinway has 97% of the performing classical artists contracts. But they moved, and now in the place of this Steinway Hall, which it's called, the lobby is now Steinway Hall because they had to. It was landmarked. They couldn't touch it. They have built like a 170-story building. It is actually now either the tallest or the second tallest structure in New York City. So like I said yesterday about the destruction of the skyline, you can't see the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building, any of those things anymore, because they're dwarfed by all these super high rises. And the other problem is that they all are like this. They're all super duper skinny, and people are complaining that they're cracking and swaying because they're just these giant toothpicks obliterating the skyline, and it's really terrible. But Steinway Hall, I used to go there as a kid, and I knew a guy named John Michelli there, and he used to let me in, and he let me play everything and all this blah, blah, blah. And I loved every single second of it. Thank you for that, RP 1960. James Garner sued Universal after he busted his knee on Rockford and eventually got $10 million instead of the $35,000 an episode. I love the Rockford. I know the whole song. Because that's my childhood, and every single thing I ever did in my childhood is stuck in my brain for the rest of my life. I'm just getting to the Bastards Gallery because you guys sent a lot of pictures on this beautiful Thursday, and I want to get cracking with them right now. Okay, let's get that off the screen. Thank you so much. Let's stop the screen share. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is? It's time for this. The Gallery of Bastards. Send me the shots, the sublimely absurd. The Gallery of Bastards. You share them with me, and I share with the world. The Bastards Gallery, here for you, one and all. This is from the incredible Mr. Eazy-E. Let's get a look at that. This is him goofing around inside what I'm assuming is a 911, right? Oh, wait a second. Is there no rear boot in there? Oh, look at that. Squash M. Oh, cute. Oh, but did the trunk rot out in the back? Because I see your knees on the ground. Oh man, Easy, crack me up. Thank you, buddy. So Easy, you're not watching the show today, as you said, but you'll watch it in the replay. So Sunday's going to be a bust, my dearest, because why? It's going to be a major holiday, and we're going to get swamped with people, and I don't want to deal with that crap at all. Some of his favorite cocktails. This is also from Eazy-E. Look at this stuff. Oh, they're candles. Cocktail candles. Isn't that clever? This looks like it would be big in the tiki scene, that Polynesian scene that my friend Jimmy and guitar player is into, which is fantastic. Hey, Delboy ZA, how you, Dirk? Did I miss anything? You missed everything. Where are you? We love you. Missed you. Everybody's like, where the fuck is Delboy? Where is he? Holy smokes. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Delboy ZA is here. Thank you so much for that, Eazy-E. Okay, and next up in the gallery. Oh, wait, we got a lot from Easy. Oh, this is what he says. He refurbishes windows. You know, can I tell you something? I didn't tell you this because you sent in the email. We do the same thing. I have about 3 or 4 of these. Paul refurbishes windows, and he usually puts mirrors and he gives them away as gifts. You can find these in Easy is talking about going to tag sales and or bazaars or all kinds of places like that where you can, get items that have been thrown away or demolitions of buildings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I have one that separates my living room from my kitchen area, and actually it needs some refurb because the heat from my stove has cracked the panes. So very beautiful, and he refurbs them, and I think he says he sells them, which is a very interesting little side hustle there, Mr. Easy E. You're good like that. Angelo Minichello is sharing this with you and the world, and I shared it in my thumbnail. Here's the boys. There's Brutus and Louis, and let's call that guy Muggsy and Cha Cha. How about that? I keep making names up as I go, but these are the guys that have all the scandals in the world. And that's why I used the clickbait title today, because I realized that clickbait works as an algorithm. But of course, I'm not going to give you guys clickbait. I just wanted to give the algorithm clickbait to see if it worked. And we'll find out in due time, won't we? And so, yeah. And then I sent this back to him. I was like, thank you so much for that. I wanted just to show you how you inspired me, because you guys inspire me. So I put cat fight, thinking like it's going to be a Real Housewives style thing. What they don't want you to know. Okay, so dirty little secret. Here's a dirty little secret. I'm a rock and roll singer, and I've never used drugs. I've never smoked pot. I think I pretended once when I thought I was trying to be cool, like I might have done this. I went, "Pff," and my friend Steve at the time goes, "You're supposed to inhale that, it doesn't work." And I was like, never did it. And I hate the way it smells, and it's fine if you do it, but please take it to your own private enclosure, because man, that stuff smells like skunks. I really don't like it. Thank you, Angelo. This is Jonathan, who's got more pictures of his Swedish cats, and they're very different. Look at this beautiful baby doll. Look at that. Look at you with that face. Oh, and what are you doing in the flower pot? Because cats will, no matter what you buy for a cat, they will always make their own favorite spots. And that's a nice piece of dirt, and it's probably cool, and it's probably a hot day. How many hot days do you get in Sweden, though? I mean, obviously in the summertime, it's probably reasonable, but not too hot. And it looks like they're putting some new roads in there, pal. Thank you so much for that. That's from Jonathan D. By the way, Raymond, Julian got back to me, our dearest Julian, Mr. Huxley, who was feeling very ill last week. That's why he hasn't been around and sending pictures and stuff. He is convalescing at home and feeling much better. And we send out our well wishes to you always. Come back soon and get over. Hopefully, there's a speedy recovery as soon as you can, because he and I correspond like with these kind of old-fashioned letters, and I have to say I really enjoy trying to find the correct words to be so succinct and lyrical, because he is. And this is from, let me go, hold on a second, from Wallace. Let's get this going. This is beautiful. I don't know what this is, but I think it's cooler than hell, man. This is a Studio Underberg. Underd 8G. Is that how you say that? This is the Bicompax ST1901. Hand winding, mechanical, very cool dial, man. Are those pieces of fruit? Is that like watermelons and lemons? On one big orange wheel. Look at that. And it's a chronograph. It's a very attractive chronograph. You actually have to look at it kind of crazy to realize what it is. Fantastic. I love this, man. Oh, is it a pineapple and ham pizza? Is that what it is? Oh, man, you guys are all so smart. It's the Studio Underdog. Oh, it's Studio Underdog Pizza Edition. Thank you, Watch. It's Brian Delboy 209. You guys are fantastic with your knowledge. Very interesting watch. So it's a pizza pie. You'd be very hard pressed to find pineapple pizza in New York. I mean, it does exist, but rarely. This is from Rob. He has a funny quote, and I love this because it's not just about your watches or your cats or your cars or whatever. So Rob says the world is a small place, especially looking at this board. Everybody needs to go somewhere, anywhere. So I guess he's in a trip. I don't know where he is, but this is a destination board. And man, does that look different than I remember them? Oh, you're at LAX. Okay, Terminal B, which I heard got a totally refurbed job. Last time I was at Bradley, it was under construction and it looked like a total mess. But it does look very 50s, even though the board is very modern. That the flooring, that pavimento veneziano, that stuff. I get what is the real name for that stuff? It's like the poured. It's Italian. Um, I love that stuff because it often has kind of like a uh, brass corners and decorations within it. I love that stuff. Very cool. Everybody does need a place to go. Anybody planning on going anywhere? I got to get rid of all the problems that I have here first, and then I will decide where to go. Obviously, it's probably going to be Italy because I need to go have a spritz in a piazza. Andrew Wolkowicz. Hey, this is what he sent to me last night. Look at this, and it's not on the screen now. He sent $50 last night. So I'm going to give you, this is from last night. I posted, you can see I posted the bash last night, and he was the first because I posted it last night because he said he was having trouble finding my streams, and I don't know why that would be, if it was the algorithm, whatever. So thank you for that, Andrew. And for that, you're going to get, that's a huge super chat. So you're going to get this one. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry about that. I have no idea why that's not here because if I go back to the top here, it's not there. I don't know why. What is up with you, YouTube? What's going on with YouTube and Andrew? What's happening with them? Melly C in the house with some tutors and I think maybe some Mork and Mindy if we're lucky, if we're very lucky. Oh, yeah, there she goes. Oh, right. This is great. She's got quite the tutor selection, doesn't she? Yeah, I need to borrow a tutor for a little while so I can walk around and know what it's like because I have no idea. I've held one in my hand and I thought, wow, this is heavy. And I love the knurling on the bezel. It's one of my favorite ones. I love that super tight knurling. They're attractive watches. The snowflakes have really grown on me a lot. And one thing I love about tutors is I love oversized crowns, and their crowns are substantial. I don't have a watch that has a really big crown on it. I don't. And I like big crowns. I think, I like big crowns, and I won't lie. I do like them. And oh, who's that? That's Mindy. What is she doing? Oh, hello, sweetheart. She's a beautiful. Oh, Mork's like, F off. Why are you always taking pictures of us? You man. You man. Beautiful boys and girls. Thank you so much for that. Melly C. And watch it's Brian with a cat photo. Hey, not only does he have a most attractive wrist, but he also has a most attractive cat. Look at that. Look at you. You are a beauty. What a stealth. Look at that face. I mean, technically, she's a ginger, right? But, or is it a boy? What's his name? Did you say his name? Um, is that who I think it is in the background? Oh, it's the Breakfast Club. That's great. What a beauty. Oh, what are you looking to do? You looking to oh, that's a lot of Blu-rays. You still collect Blu-rays and do you still play them? I have 2 Blu-ray players and I can't tell you the last time I turned one of them on. But actually there's a couple of movies I have on Blu-ray that I can't find on streaming, so I might have to do that. You're beautiful. What is her name or his name? Did you say what it is? You might have said it in the body of the email, which I will find out about right now. My son's cat, Pleakley. He and his wife are Lilo and Stitch. Is it Lilo and Stitch? Lilo and Stitch fans. Thanks. Watch it's Brian. Right. Oh, that's your son's cat. Okay, great. You have a son that's married. You look too young to have a married son. What's going on there? Thank you for that. That's Pleakley. Oh my God. This is a beautiful sunset shot from Mr. Dundee. Let's get that going. Look at this beautiful thing. Okay, and where are we? Are we in Wales? We probably are, right? Where are we? Those look like words I could never read, so I would imagine. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Watch It's Brian says he's a new grandpa. Everybody, congratulations to Watch It's Brian. Congratulations. First time grandpa? I'm assuming, because you're too young. Look at your face. You're too young for that. There's no way. Congratulations. That's fantastic. So it's your son that has the Blu-ray connection. The Blu-ray connection. Judah Bell goes, Burton D. Oh, here's Chris with Poppy. Let's not forget about Poppy because we love her. And we love her. A dog like this. Look at that. Very dark picture. Can I blow it up? I can. Look at that. Black dog. Oh, it was only one shot. Look at that. You have a guitar. Do you play guitar as well? That's a very European radiator. I used to say radiator because I'm from New York. So, people from New York say radiator. Well, it's cold in here. Turn on the radiator. Maybe in my early teens, when I didn't particularly ever speak like that, but I did use a lot of isms. I do have some New York accent in me, and it's available upon demand. I can certainly do it. But I was watching the Long Island Watch guy. I forget what his name is, but he's the guy that has the very cute, goofy commercials. And he goes, "You don't want to watch. You don't need a watch. You'd like a watch." He's the guy that said Bulova, and he's also the guy that said tourbillon. But he talks kind of like he's from Long Island. Long Island people used to sound like they're from New York, and then they moved out to Long Island. It's called God's country, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. That kind of accent has pretty much been removed from the planet. Very few, all the kids in New York don't. Nobody sounds like they have a New York accent anymore. Everyone talks like this, and their R's as they're pronounced, and it's like everything's a question, and blah 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 blah. And here's Becky Brown. Oh, she sent a picture of the note I sent her. She is the beautiful lady that sent me the Laverne stationery, and I just sent her a note saying, "Hey Becky, haven't seen you on the show, hoping all is well with you." That's very sweet. And then she sent me some pictures. I showed some of them yesterday from Osaka, but now she's got, look at this, some octos, some Bulgaris, right? I like this watch. I know this is a polarizing watch, but I like it. I mean, I think it's very cool. I think they're very pretty. And look at this crazy thing. And of course, this Serpente, that everybody and their mother wants that. And it's on every red carpet, as we've been doing on Watch Fashion Place. It's been insane. More of these. Wow. Yeah, the octos are cool. Look at this Cartier. Oh boy. She's in Japan right now, for everybody to know. So it's 2,000. Oh no, it's 2,890,800 yen. Anybody want to do the math on that real fast? Wow. Diamond encrusted tank for 1,200,000. 500,000 is this beautiful piece. Chanel watches. I mean, well, I know they're popular, but if you like it, you like it. Actually, it looks cool in white. I could see John Mayer wearing that. Oh wow. And Chanel, as we now know, is using and Louis Vuitton, they're using that brand new or very recently acquired what is it called, like the Maison du Temps. They're using a new movement house, so it is now technically, I guess it's in-house, right? Because Chanel is owned by, who's Chanel? Chanel LMVH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. I always mess that up. I dyslexic it all the time. Thank you so much for that, Becky Brown. Hey, Dad's Bulova. Look at this, man. Talking about Bulova. That's beautiful, man. Look at that. Yeah, they had a bunch of these in the museum. These are good. Look at this Art Deco masterpiece. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I want to get me one of those. Those are cool. My brother and I were recently talking about my dad's watch, and I don't recall my father having a watch, even though he's with the airlines for 800 years. I don't remember him having. He had a pocket watch. That's the only thing I knew about. But I don't think my father was interested in such things, which is a shame. So there's no vintage Rolex in my in my or Carrie's future. That's unbelievable. Tess Farrell goes, and we love her. Is that from Kate Bush's 50 Words for Snow? No, it's and I love her, the Beatles. I was just goofing around with it, but kudos to you for knowing 50 Words for Snow. Did you like the duet on that? Snowed in at Wheeler Street, her and Elton John. It's very odd, but I love it. Snowflake is my favorite song. Falling. That's the last record she ever made so far, and that's an amazing record, and I love it. Thanks for making me have faith in humankind for mentioning Kate Bush. And they mentioned Kate Bush on a show called Girls Five Eva. It's a very stupid show that I watch about a girl group from the 90s or the noughties that are a terrible, pop group, and they're horrific and they're has-beens because they're older now and they're trying to on the comeback tour. And they're like, well, if you could pull a Kate Bush, and have a #1 record with Running Up That Hill, if you could do that. Terrible. Thank you, Rob Peltier, for that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Bulova. Carlos Paggi, let's go. Or Paggi, right? Let's have a look-see at this gorgeous oceanographer. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, you bought one of them. Look at that. I want one of these. They're cool, man. I love the 666 on there. Very cool. That's a great looking watch, man. Oh, it's cool looking. Yeah. I mean, I should have a little bit more hometown pride. Like I love the Mets. I should love Bulova, right? Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Poggy. Thank you so much. Ray with a little. Oh, he's got a parking meter. Look out, Ray. You're a badass mofo. Look at that. Okay. In a more of a taupe. Look at that. Or is that like a bronzish? Looking great on your wrist. Oh, there's me in the background. Aren't you the cutest thing ever? Yeah, the parking meter. Now I didn't even know what that was, and now I do. Isn't that crazy? Thank you, Ray. I love learning about things. Super Sevilla from this is beautiful, very much so. Look at this. Oh, I love the fact that you know all about this stuff, man. You might be my go-to guy when I'm trying. Why did that do that? That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Window. I want this. This is beautiful. This is the wow. That is as close to a day date as I have ever seen in my entire life, even down to the bracelet. Wow. Look at that. Bulova Super Seville day and date. Oh shit. Even the font. Wow, in the chemin de fer. Okay, nerds, I want to ask you, what year did the day date? What year did the day date debut, Rolex? And what year did this come out? Because look at the bezel. I mean, are they kidding me with that? I mean, I'm a little perplexed here at this time. You know what I'm talking about, people. 53. Somebody's got to know. That is astonishing, man. I would love that watch. I gotta look at all about that one, kiddo. Wow. That was nuts. The Super Seville. Carolyn Merchant's here with her ball baby doll. Don't want to be your baby doll. One of my favorite singers, Lisa Dalbello, known professionally as Dalbello. That is from her album called She. She got an album called Human Forces, spelled Who Man Force Says. She got an album called She and an album called Whore. And she's the Canadian, kind of like a Kate Bush thing, but she predates Alanis Morissette, child star, avant-garde artist. She had big success. I love this watch. This is great looking. The chronometer automatic 330, 300, 1000. Oh, look, she's a big ball girl. Didn't know that. Didn't know, Carolyn. I love the anchor on the chrono hand. Well, actually, that's a second hand on this watch, isn't it? Well, it's both. Because there's no subs. There ain't no subs like a poultry party. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Vaughn, my Bulova trio. Look at this. I love this Bulova love. I'm gonna get on the train, kids. I'm gonna get on the Bulova love train. I am. Oh, that's the watch we were looking at before, isn't it? Isn't it? That is very much like the Lange one, right? Anybody have a Lange in the house? Is anybody here who has such a thing? Wow. Very nice. These are beautiful designs. And you know what? Their designs are timeless. Well, we all know what this looks like. Very similar. And I know that that didn't come first. Wow, but I love it though. I love it. I didn't know that if I hold my cursor down, it just brings the thing to the right. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Wow. Wowsy. Wow, wow, wow. Just Martin. Oh, look at this. Do you have something to say in this? Golden Art Deco Busendorfer for 3,000 rent in Australian Parliament, thanks to the taxpayer. Wait till you see this work of art, dear ones. So listen, when you're a piano person, you know, you're a bit of a snob. This is obviously a custom Busendorfer. Everybody says Bosendorfer, but it's Busendorfer. And this is one of the most storied pianos in the entire world. They make a piano called the Imperial Grand, which has uh, reverse black and white keys on the lower end of the instrument, so you can get an extra bunch of tones. I think it's not it's not 8 keys. I think it's 7 extra keys on the bottom. So the sharps and flats are white and the naturals are black, and it's a very cool instrument. The Bosendorfer is, you know, the big brands of the world. If you're like, for all the watch nerds out there, the big ones are Steinway, Busendorfer, Bechstein, and then there's a whole range of other ones that are up there. But now in this world, there's a company called Fazioli, and they are in Italy, and they are a relatively newcomer from the late 70s, early 80s, and they make the most expensive pianos in the world, and they are beautiful. I got to play one in the airport at Malpensa in Milano, and it sounded good. It is too bright. I like the darker pianos. Maybe I'm just a New York boy at heart, but I like the New York Steinways, which are different from the Hamburg Steinways. But Bosendorfer, um, when I was touring with my band in the 90s, they were all sleeping it off. Well, Jimmy wasn't because he didn't drink. They were all sleeping it off. And I got up and I got on a bus and I went to the Bosendorfer showroom and I got to play a bunch of them in the city where they're built. And they are beautiful works of art. And thank you for that. What a cool thing. First piano on the show, I believe. Bring them on, kids. And Canair's here. What do you have for us? Wow. Oh boy, look what he got. I didn't get it. By the way, we had overcast weather the entire time. I saw no aurora borealis. Space trucking round the stars. Come on. Look at that. Oh, isn't that sweet? And that's real. Your Instagram people will think you're faking it, man, but it's not. It's real. Thank you so much. And look, I get the little bit of ability to see what people really look like. Isn't that amazing? And you guys are talking about 25 G's and 18 G's. I guess you're talking about that watch cost that much money to the devil dive. Des Farrell says that Kate Bush is a genius like Bowie, so not one everyone will love her, but she's extraordinary. I don't ever think she's a tough listen at any time because she's my favorite artist of all time. So I listen to her with open ears. I've maybe there's 1 or 2 songs that I don't like. I don't love the song "Eat the Music" off of the Red Shoes. I will tell you that right off my mind. And also, there's a couple of songs on my 2 least favorite records from her are "Don't Be Angry at Me," "Never Forever," and "The Dreaming." She got a little too weird. I like "There Goes a Tenor" and all that stuff. But there's some weird shit. Obviously, Babushka, I love. But you know, then she made the Hounds of Love, and then it was game over. You know, so that was the end of that. Um, I do want to look that up. 1980s, my sister thinks. Carlos Paggi says he thinks it's a 1990. So then it would be a direct ripoff of the Day Date, which is a shame. Wouldn't it be so fun to find out that they invented that first? It'd be crazy. My sister has a Seiko Day Date that looks the same. I've never seen that. Why don't you show that to me? Tritium Loom. Wow, okay. Dave Fahrenheit 451 knows that everyone else knew Miss Martin is a baller. Miss Martin is a baller. That's what you gotta call her. Vaughn says, I love the look of concert crayons. I can't play, but I appreciate what they are. Yeah, because they're works of art. They're beautiful. Listen, uh, I don't want for very much in my life. If I ever had the opportunity to have a concert grand, I would. I'd have to have a big place to put it because they're 8 feet 11 inches. They're 9 feet tall. And what purpose would it serve to have one of those? Those should be in the head. The concert grand should be in the hands of the concert artists or the recording studios where you're making a recording. The rest of us can suffer with the other ones. And Del Boy ZA says, love the instrument stories. Me too. Absolutely love them. Well, hey, kitty boys. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you so much. Please send all of your pictures to bashtardirk@gmail.com for Sunday Mass, because, of course, tomorrow, this is the end of Dirk Weekdays for the week. I'll be back with the big guy tomorrow for Classic Bashers. Get your tickets ready. You don't have to use Live Nation or Ticketmaster anymore because we don't like them. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, I want to do my updated Pantheon. Jim Lassick, Andrew Wolkowicz, Go Moto Soto, Nick Sisto, Complicated Time, Fergal McDermott, Nathaniel Hannon, Dana O'Malley, Lord Scotty H, Dean McKenzie, Al Benedetti, Angelo Minichello, Gasman, Danny L, Fahrenheit 458. And hold on, here it comes. It's coming. I can't go fast enough. Hold on, here it goes. Wait. Dave Fitzsimons, Lady Wrench Martin, children at your feet, and ladies corrected for the rest of you. Easy, who is a Patreon now, a friend and a patron. Thank you so very much, everybody, for your time, your hearts, your souls. What an incredible show. I love doing that. Le Carre says that Kate Bush is almost as good as Nina Hagen. Nina Hagen might be more entertaining, but Kate Bush has definitely better songs. Anyway, thank you so much for all the love and attention. I'll be back with you on Sunday again, and tomorrow with the big guy for the big classic Basher show that we do on Friday nights, and watch Fashion Police with the beautiful Michaela de Chatillon and Oisin O'Malley on Mondays, and then back for Dirk weekdays on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So thank you so much for that. Mr. Mustang Rick says, bye, Dirk. I say bye to you too. But before I go, as always, just a little bit of heads up that always remember to hold the door open. Please say please and thank you. And always remember that when you encounter unkindness, you can't always know what that person is going through. They might just be having a bad day. Either that or they're just a